Doris and Thomas were two of many immigrants who came to the United States due to harsh conditions in their home country. Doris Romero was brought to California when she was 5 by her mother because of a hurricane in El Salvador, her homeland.
I was 4 when I came, 5 when I arrived, when I immigrated to the United States. I don't remember much of my home life. From what my parents have told me, it was a war-torn country. We went through Hurricane Mitch, and that was the reason for us to flee El Salvador. My mother was originally going to New York, and it so happened that she ran out of bus fare in LA. So she was kind of just stuck there. She was fortunate enough to meet a friend who offered her a job in Lake of the Pines, which is about 10 minutes away from Auburn, and she just established her there. She got 3 jobs. She started knowing friends, and then eventually rented out a home, and then we just fast forward 20 years later, we're still here, and this is our home.
Thomas Evangelista immigrated from Mexico and was brought to Santa Barbara when he was 2 years old.
I came from Mexico, so it was a little bit different, less war-torn than Mexico, but it was still a very poor town. Before I was born, my father abandoned our family, so we were left by ourselves, and it was difficult. I do know that the economy was terrible, so it was hard just to get ahead. So my mother had to make a very tough decision to come to the United States, and of course it's not an easy journey for anybody, but she made it with her children in mind, and she came here first, and then I arrived at the age of 2 in Santa Barbara. My mom was diagnosed with cancer when I was 5, and she ended up passing away when I was 6. So being in Santa Barbara, we couldn't be there anymore. We moved up to Auburn to live with my aunt and uncle, and then my grandparents came up to Auburn, and this is where I grew up since I was 6. Growing up, going to elementary school here, Sky Ridge, I went to Alta Vista, a little bit of Rock Creek, and you're just a kid, so you don't really think about or worry about much or have any of these fears, or do you even understand what being undocumented is. But it wasn't until I got to high school where I started feeling different, because then you realize, oh, I can't drive, oh, I can't get a job like my friends can. What about college? And things start becoming more complicated. I think it's when you start looking at your future.
DACA is a 2-year work permit for children who are brought into the United States undocumented or without inspection before their 16th birthday. This work permit was implemented in 2012 by Barack Obama, and it helps an estimated 100,000 recipients. It offers a driver's license, work permit, the ability to receive higher education, and a social security number.
You have to go through a background check, and you have to pay a fee, and then going through the process is very tedious, because you have to show that you've been here continuously since the moment that you've stepped foot in this country. A lot of people think that it's very easy, that anybody can get it, but there's an estimated 2 million dreamers, but only half applied because of the temporary status. A lot of people were told hey, you shouldn't do this because the next president coming in could just take it away, and then the government knows about you and you can be deported. So not a lot of people signed up for it, only half.
Last year, President Trump's administration announced that they would be eliminating DACA for new applicants.
What was your reaction when Trump took away the DACA program for the new applicants?
Honestly, I wasn't surprised. It was just kind of a moment that day. I remember I went to school in the morning, and then I worked that afternoon, but it was a day of mourning. I just had uncertainty. At some point thought I should stop with the dreamers just out of fear, now I'll go into hiding. I had this whole planned out for all the what ifs, because now our what ifs were coming reality.
Doris and Thomas decided that they must work extra hard to keep the DACA program in place.
I do this by just sharing at any point I can. If I see someone at Starbucks who says, hey, I saw you on the paper the other day, or just share them, just give them more information. Or if I see someone who's on social media, even my friends who are just not understanding, what it's really like to be undocumented, or who have never met an undocumented person, I just, hey, you want to meet up for coffee? My plan is to continue speaking out, continue sharing that message, and being stronger, being more, present, more active.
Doris and Thomas share their stories whenever they can and involve themselves in many different fundraisers and events that support their cause. They have been many different places, like Crooked Lane Brewing in Auburn for a Dreamer fundraiser, all the way to Washington, D.C. to speak to congressmen about DACA. Doris's and Thomas's work pays off when a federal judge rules Trump's administration must accept new DACA applicants in April of 2018. Even though this is just a temporary solution, it provides hope for many dreamers looking to find a permanent one.
I see us as citizens. I see us as normal. We feel normal, and we are normal. We're just like any other kid in any other family. It's just that there's a piece of paper that tells us that we're not.
I have this recurring dream of me walking the stage and being sworn into a U.S. citizen, and I just see that for all the DACA recipients, all the dreamers. I see them as doctors. I see them graduating from law school and just doing great things in their life. And one day we're gonna look back at this and we're just gonna say this was just a harsh part in our path, harsh part in our childhood, but we got through it,